It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I finally found a bottle of Heineken Silver. Now, you lovely people on the channel have been sending me messages on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook saying, Simon, when are we going to see your review of Heineken Silver? Well, here it is today. My local Asda, now this beer is available in Asda. My local Asda is a small Asda and they just had regular Heineken. So I had to go out to my bigger Asda over in Cardiff Bay and they only sold it in a box of 8. Or maybe 12. Either 8 or 12. It was £8 for the box, that's why I've got 8 in my mind. I think it was a box of 12 actually. 330 millilitre bottle of pure malt lager, 4% ABV, green glass bottle, silver bottle cap. Now, what's really interesting about this beer is I went on Heineken's website to get some information about this, and they've launched this beer in the Metaverse. You can buy this beer in VR in a Heineken pub, which is interesting enough, isn't it? So I hope it's pretty good because I got 12 bottles of it, 11 after this. I hope it's good. Otherwise, it's going to be in the bottom of the fridge for a long, long time. Let's get it out into a glass, see what we get. I'm struggling to think if I've reviewed regular Heineken, which is a 5%, what they call premium lager. On their website, this says that this beer has been brewed at temperatures of -1, or maybe stored, maybe lagered at -1 to create the pure clean taste. But we all know we're being marketed to when we look at these kind of websites. So let's have a look at this beer ourselves. Let's pull this beer apart ourselves. So this was always going to be a lovely looking beer. It's a one finger whitehead, good levels of carbonation rolling up the side of the glass. Clear as a bell, this beer, and there's going to be no sediment in here whatsoever. Pale straw coloured. Let's get the aroma. The thing is, these beers are, I'll get the aroma in a moment, but these beers have been designed, while I'm touching on the subject of this beer was always going to look great. These beers are designed. These beers have so much quality control in the making of this beer that you're never going to get a bottle of Heineken like this gushing all over the place and foaming off the top when you pour the beer. You know, it's always going to be kind of a well-behaved beer. And we talk about this an awful lot when I review micro brewery beers, where I talk about it's probably one man and his dog brewing beer in his garage, and he doesn't have this level of quality control and management to get your beer to look and feel like this all of the time. I've just pulled this beer out of my fridge. It's been out about 15 minutes, so I've raised the temperature a little bit. I like to get flavour from my beer, so aroma. It smells okay. It smells okay. Lemon, touch of malt, it's hoppy. It smells clean and crisp. It smells quite desirable actually. It's the aroma makes you want to kind of sip this beer. Now let's dive in. Cheers. That's just that is ridiculously clean. That is ridiculously drinkable. I'm actually enjoying that, to be honest. Not pulling any punches, not kind of leaning towards craft. I'm a craft beer drinker. I'm a real ale drinker, but I'm also an honest guy, and there could be a tendency, as I love craft beer and real ale, there could be a tendency for me to go, actually I don't like this. But no, in truth, this is a fantastic weekend barbecue beer. It's been designed that way. It's been made that way. It's probably a beer like this, getting a beer to this level of quality would have taken 12 to 18 months to develop. And small brewers just simply do not have that time to develop a beer, to develop a recipe, to get it to taste as clinical and clean and crisp as this. For me, what makes this beer is that all malt lager. The fact that it's an all malt lager, a pure malt lager. Actually, pure malt lager doesn't mean all malt, does it? Ingredients: water, malted barley, hop extract. Okay, so it is an all malt lager. I do like an all malt lager. You can tell the difference from where brewers use rice and maize. I'm not really a maize fan when it comes to lagers. I'm not really a rice fan when it comes to lagers. And it probably would have been tempting for Heineken to go down the maize route or the rice route. But I think they've chosen all malt because of the rise in quality beer now. The fact that you've got hundreds, if not thousands, of microbreweries in the UK and around Europe that are producing really good beer. The likes of Heineken, they've had to up their game. They've had to go, hang on a minute, we need to make a better beer. So that was probably the decision to turn this into, or to design an all malt lager. I'm going to be honest, them 12 bottles in the fridge. I've got family coming this weekend. They're coming up from Salisbury in Wiltshire. It's actually my wife's brother and his girlfriend. And I can just imagine, you know, them hitting here at about 11 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock, everybody starts rolling their thumbs, you know, tapping their knees, you know, wanting a beer type of thing. So we'll go out, we'll probably go to the supermarket, pick up some meat, or the butcher, pick up some meat, pick up some food for the barbecue, pick up a couple of bags of coal and light the barbecue. And the beauty of a 4% ABV beer like this is the fact that it's been designed to be blooming freezing cold for a start. And the other thing is it's 4%. I on a personal level, I could drink this all day. I could drink this all day, not make a fool of myself, not make I'm not going to really get too kind of bladdered on this. I could drink the 12 bottles and still be well behaved at the end of the day. So there's a market really for everything. There's a market really for every beer. It wasn't expensive. £8 for 12 bottles was for me, it's a pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to pick on a beer now. I'm going to pick on a brewery that had quality. They really did have quality. And this has nothing to do with the association of shares and everything else. By the way, I'm not getting involved in that. I'm just talking about a brewery that once had fantastic quality, and they let their quality slip. Now, I drank a beer from Brewdog from Morrison's just the other day, and it was brewed with ice cream concentrate. And I just don't like concentrates or ice cream concentrates or anything really that's a hop replacement in my beer. This is something else. This is Puppet Master, a West Coast IPA. I'm hoping it's really good, but I don't have confidence anymore. I don't have confidence that this beer from Brewdog is going to be a good beer. Because their beers are so up and down at the moment. Some are good, some are average, some are downright terrible. But what you get from the likes of Heineken, and this is not a sponsored video, by the way, I went and bought these myself. I'm just kind of pulling this beer apart for what it is and pulling the company apart for what it is. What you get from the likes of Heineken is consistency. You know what you're going to buy. You know what you're going to get from the likes of Heineken. You never seem to know what you're going to get from the likes of Brewdog anymore, or Magic Rock for that matter, or Beavertown for that matter. You just don't know. But this, I kind of already knew what it was going to be. It was going to be clean, it was going to be it was all of those things, but better. But better. This is so ultra drinkable. It is so clinically refreshing. There's a little bit of hop character on the back. There's a little bit of bitterness. There's a little bit of sweetness to begin with. I'm actually quite glad. You go in the supermarket, I prefer to buy one bottle of beer. If I was going to buy this, ideally I would have liked to have bought it in a bomber bottle. Say a 660 milliliter bomber bottle. Brought it home, reviewed it, job done. And the review's done. I don't have any more Heineken Silver in my fridge, just in case I didn't like it. But I'm actually pleased that I've got another 11 bottles of that stuff. I've already kind of lined my fridge up for the weekend, for well, not for the weekend, for a day's drinking with my brother-in-law. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Smells good, looks good, tastes good. A decent lager. Now I'm reviewing this beer as a launch product. And what you find with some breweries is that they make the first few batches of the beer spot on, absolutely spot on. And then they kind of let this standard slip over time. So if you're buying this Heineken Silver in a year, 18 months, 2 years down the line, and they've removed the pure malt lager from the bottom, and you look at the back and you see there's maize in here now, or there's rice, or there's corn, or then this is a very different beer review. You might be scratching your head going, what is he talking about? But yeah, I'm drinking the all malt version, the launch beer of Heineken Silver, which is always better. It's always better, trust me. Yeah, I mean, value for money, fantastic. Drinkability, really good. They're not the company, they're not the size of the company, they're not where they are today through producing bad beer. They're easy targets, of course they are, Heineken. They haven't had a great history of buyouts. They buy a lot of breweries up around Europe and they kind of shut them down very quickly with no real thought for the people in the town or the villagers who worked in that brewery. So they haven't got the greatest of reputations when it comes to kind of us people in the craft beer market. But reviewing this on its day here in front of me now, it's an 8 out of 10. It really is an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.